much as a deepening in the tripartite alliance. ANC National Chairperson Gwede Mantashe was booed off stage at COSATU's National Congress yesterday on day one. He was sent off with chants of hamba, nathi, Gwede and Asinamali. Members say government reneged on their wage agreement. Delegates want the Trade Union Federation to reconsider its relationship with the governing party. Now, to discuss this further, we're joined by former NAHAO General Secretary Phillip Dexter. Mr. Dexter, good morning and thank you very much for your time. I don't know if you're able to hear a bit of what Solima Baila was saying about perhaps constructing a more militant and radical plan to reverse what they've seen of late, this jobs bloodbath that many have been speaking of. They've lost a significant amount of members, 60,000, I believe, when we speak of COSATU. What do you make of all of this that we're seeing?
Well, I think the General Secretary of the SACP is spot on the money, as it were, right on the money. You know, fundamentally, COSATU's challenges stem from the fact that despite the democratic breakthrough in 1994, the political economy of South Africa has hardly changed at all. You know, the living conditions of workers, real wages, their share of the economy are just pretty much as what they were before 1994. So life hasn't changed for working people really in any fundamental sense. I mean, the ANC has brought labor legislation, some basic services, but in truth, if you think about it, workers are where they were in 1994. So this, of course, places huge pressure on trade unions, because I think the effect of the alliance on COSATU in particular, but on the labor movement generally, has been to dampen the militancy of workers. So what the General Secretary of the SACP is saying is correct. We need a radical program of action to fundamentally transform this economy. And the only way to achieve that is to have a united trade union movement, the unity of the working class. You know, the split between COSATU and SAFTU, for example, the fact that there's other federations like NACTU and FEDUSA, means that workers are weakened in terms of the impact that they can have on the economy. So I think that program needs to be built around ensuring unity of the working class. Mm-hmm. If we don't do that, things are never going to change.
Mm-hmm. But the particular labour federations have stated that they are putting the interests of the workers, first. We saw with the protests recently, the national shutdown, you saw the two labour federations coming together. So you believe there could be even greater unity than that, where they collapse their own labour federations?
Look, I mean, that was wonderful to see that unity in action, and we have seen trade unions cooperating around wage demands and so on. But I'm saying fundamentally, we need a joint program of action that unites all workers. In the long run, it would be good if we could merge these federations, if we could get SAFTU and COSATU back together, if we could get NACTU and FEDUSA to join and form one giant federation. That's always the best option. But I think that's something to work towards. But in the meantime, what they can do is agree on a program of action that ensures, one, they really restructure this economy and ensure that we take on this rapacious capitalist class who literally suck the blood out of the workers of this country.
Mm-hmm. But then many would say that if there were to be some sort of a merge, there would still be a problem or a question around COSATU's proximity to the ruling party. Because in one instance, I was speaking to one political analyst just before you joined us, that you have COSATU's leadership here being able to sit at the table when some of these policies are formulated. They have an equal chance to share their views, but somehow it seems they're muzzled, or we don't know what exactly happens in there, but some of their policies don't find expression. So with them continuing that relationship, one would assume it would be difficult for them to want to present some sort of a merger with a SAFTU that perhaps wants nothing to do with politicians or politics.
Well, I don't think SAFTU wants nothing to do with politicians or politics. I mean, it's a fundamentally political trade union movement, SAFTU. But I think where you are correct is that the current way in which the alliance is structured doesn't do anything for workers. I think that it is time to rethink that. By this, I don't mean that workers have to be anti-ANC. It may well be that the program is to radicalize the ANC. But what is clear is that if you have a relationship, as you do currently, between the ANC, SACP, and COSATU, working class interests are not prioritized. So I think some fundamental demands have to be made to the ANC in terms of changing its policies, or it will be better for the various components of the alliance to go it alone. I mean, the SACP has been contemplating fighting elections for a long time. My own views, it should have done that long ago, because there's no contradiction between fighting for elections and being in alliance. I mean, we could have ANC and SACP members of parliament working together. But where they differ and where the SACP is more radical, they would be able to fight for those policies. So I think it is time to rethink the alliance, and it is time for workers to be far more jealous about their interests. The idea of nationalism and national unity is a good one, but if it's at the expense of the working class, then it certainly can't be something that they'll tolerate forever. So it really is time to rethink.
All right. Philip, thank you very much for your insights this morning. That's former SG of Nehau, Phillip Dexter, and that's where I